Let's have a look at title animation with Affinity and Apple Motion, using graphics designed with Affinity Designer or Affinity Photo. So, generating the logo. First we need our logo, so let's create one if you don't have it already, using Affinity Photo or Affinity Designer. I need a transparent background logo, so I've done one in Photo and one in Designer, but I think I'll use the Designer version and leave the other one go. The logo to use in the motion example is following: Affinity Inspiration, the words, metal texture I've used, and a transparent background. So let's go to Apple Motion now. That, of course, is a PNG file I've saved on my hard drive. So here we are in Apple Motion and ready to open a new project. As most of my YouTube videos are done in 30 frames per second, let's ensure that I have that set. I don't need to worry about the duration just yet, although you can set that if you like. I've got it at 4 seconds, and I'll leave that as it is. Next, click to open. The first thing is to drop in my Affinity Inspiration PNG logo image and adjust it to size. The original image is way big, so reduce the visual to about 50% or thereabouts. Use the scale slider in the inspector panel to reduce the size so it's not so gigantic. I scaled it down to 70%. Whatever you're comfortable with, and it might depend also on the size of your logo text. Now we need to apply a behaviour to this layer first. So go over to Behaviour, Parameter, Overshoot, and you can see the Behaviour panel is that cogwheel right at the top under the word Untitled. Click on that and select Parameter, Overshoot. And it puts a line down the bottom. The overshoot parameter will appear below in the timeline. Now you can see I've got 3 layers there: the group, the text itself, and the overshoot layer. Now select overshoot layer and drag it back to just 1 second. You go to the end of it and it'll turn into a bracket, and you just drag that back so it's right on the 1 second line. So your overshoot is only 1 second long, at this stage. Next, in the Behaviours panel, that's the panel on the left hand side, not the Behaviours thing at the top, but select, you've got Properties, Behaviours, Filters and Image. Select the Behaviours panel, select Apply to, select Transform, Scale and All to apply the behaviour. Now we can adjust some of the behaviour. We want it to start from very small and come out to full size. Set the start value to -34.6 or thereabouts. Now you can't drag the slider down that far, but you can type it in. The logo should be very small, with the playhead right to the left. When you move the playhead to the right, you'll see a subtle bounce happening to the logo. Click the play button and you will see the effect much clearer. It's not much of a bounce, but it is there. Increase the number of bounces by increasing the cycles number slightly. Don't go crazy with this. Adjust it to suit. Now you can see I've just got it at 4 there at the moment, which is not much above what it was set originally. By adjusting the ramp duration, cycles and other options, you can get it to look just how you want it. And I settled on these values, and if you play that, it doesn't look too bad. The next step is to add a twirl distortion. So head over to Filters, next along the top there, Distortion and Twirl. That will put a huge twirl into your text. Go to Window and select Keyframe Editor, and we'll use this to place our keyframes. Change its name to Untitled Set. You can see down the bottom there it's animated at the moment. We'll change that to Untitled Set. Drag a copy of the twirl timeline to the panel below the Untitled Set line. This is where you'll set your keyframes using the Record button. Now, record isn't about recording as you're going, it's about recording your keyframes. Just be careful of that. You might be familiar with keyframes. If you're not, get lots of practice. They're very powerful. Now we can adjust the rate of twirl as well as setting the keyframes in the keyframe editor. We need probably 7 keyframes added at points where we can adjust the twirl. It's a good idea to uncheck the overshoot for a moment. Uncheck the tick to the left. Turn it on again later. Adjust the twirl values starting from 0 and ending on 0. So the first keyframe is 1, and that's at 0, 2, 17, 3, 23, 4, minus 13, 5, 10, 6, minus 6 and 7, 0. They'll change slightly as you fiddle with it, and you can see the line that it's generating there, and that's showing you how much it bounces and twirls. Of course, adjust these twirl effects to suit your own text. The finished setup looks something like this. So you can see the screen there with the layers, the properties, the filters and the timeline. You should end up with something that looks very similar to that. When you export the finished motion movie, make sure you select Apple ProRes all the 4s so that you have an alpha channel and can overlay the effect over a movie and have the transparency that's necessary. And it looks something like that once you overlay it. The finished clip is next. A little sample of the logo overlaying the image. It will start in after 1 second. Now you have a new option to add to your kit of tools for Affinity Designer. Please subscribe and check the bell to be advised of new and upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.